Come on in, come on in, welcome in, welcome in. Today is Money Mondays, and I don't talk about nothing, and I don't do anything in my life without it also involving the element of healing, because there is nothing that we can do in this life without healing first. There's no get rich quick nothing. Everybody wants a get rich quick something. I was just talking about that on my Meet Me stream. Everybody wants a get rich quick something. Like whether it's a get rich quick money, get dinner quick scheme. Like we went from the 30-minute meals to give me a 15-minute meal. Like, where's our patience at? I've been talking about how the prerequisite to healing is an ego death. These are steps that we can't skip. We have to have the ego death. Why? Because without the ego death, we won't be humble enough to heal. You need humility to heal. Like if you could see this beautiful, beautiful calendar right here. And in order to read this calendar, you're going to have to learn how to read first, right? And there are some of us out here who would get frustrated that we have to learn how to read in order to read the book. That's ego. See, the humility says, I am so grateful that I have the opportunity to learn how to read so that I can read. And a lot of y'all are doing that with circumstances and mountains and hills and whatever challenges that you're facing in your life at any given time. We all have a multitude of different challenges that we're trying to, overcome in our life. It isn't just the one task. It isn't just the one mission. There are a bunch of mini battles, if you will, for the war. So how are you respecting those battles? Do you respect them, or do you have a shitty attitude where you're like, I just need this to hurry up and come? Or do you get frustrated quick? Because one thing about the billionaire mindset is that we are resilient, baby. We don't give up. We try and we try and we try again. Most billionaires that they have over 20 failed businesses before they get their nest egg, before they reach their magnum opus. But a lot of y'all are too impatient to get to there. And that's why a lot of y'all don't have the billionaire mindset. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's just start there. You don't want to talk about it. You want a quick get rich quick scheme. Y'all want like the kind of the business plan before you're even good business people. You want someone to like offer you a business plan. Like, could you just give me the steps on how to like make this money and like become a travel company or become a this company or that company? But then because you don't have the grit of a millionaire, you don't have the mindset of a millionaire, you don't have the humility of a true millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Who can accept failure and get back up and not be like so broken in the ego because they had a failure, to where like your ego is so fragile. Because the more pumped up and big your ego is, actually the more fragile it is. It's like, think of like a Humpty Dumpty or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy for this, but think of a substance that the bigger it gets, actually the more fragile it gets, like a bubble. Like, like the small tiny bubbles, they seem to be like more sturdy. Like they can like fall on stuff and objects and stay still in a nice little round bubble. We're talking physics here, right? But like the bigger the bubble is, like the more fragile and delicate it is. That's like an inflated ego. It's so delicate, it can't handle any assault. It can't handle any failure. It can't handle any setback. You know what I'm saying? You need the ego, but you need the ego to be in check. You need the ego to work for you. You need the ego to be resilient. Do you see? So having this attitude and this mindset of, I needed to hurry up and being impatient. It's like I just already named so many prerequisites before you can have the billionaire mindset. Patience. Do you got it? Have you worked on it? At a collegiate level, not at the 101 level, at the 400 level. There's levels to this shit. There really is. You can't come into this game with leadership, 101 leadership skills. You have to have leadership skills of the 400 level. That little 101 class that you took at the community college, That little introductory to psychology, that introductory to finances, that introductory course that you took, it ain't gonna be enough. That lesson that you learned when you went to church, but you never took notes and went home and scribbled in your Bible and wrote down notes, and you don't have a studious mind, the mind of a student, a mind that is curious and thirsty and hungry for knowledge and hungry for more, a mind that thrives off of challenges and thrives off of like problem solving. Do you have a mindset like that? That is the mindset of a billionaire. Excuse me. That's the mindset of a billionaire, even a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? And it has nothing to do with whether or not you were born into it. Now, it may make it harder. It may make it take a little longer, because you have to learn more. So someone who is born into money, born into privilege, they can inherit $1 billion and blow it. You know what I'm saying? They can inherit $1 billion and be sitting on it and be miserable as hell. Okay? The goal to have a real billionaire mindset is to be a billionaire who is actually fulfilled and happy. That's the type of billionaire I am. That's the type of billionaires I'm creating. I'm not creating the false matrix billionaires that, the template, the old model that we're used to. You know what I mean? That ragtime, raggedy, like wore out, irritated, old, cranky, rich person who is miserable and like, what? No. We're building legacy. We're building tribe. We're reinvigorating the tribe mindset, the loyalty, the love, the compassion, the honor that goes into legacy and family and building health and wealth. The real deal stuff, that's what we're building. Because like going back to the point about the person who has inherited the billionaire mindset and the billionaire money, right? That person, they still have to have a billionaire mindset. Just because you're born into that privilege doesn't mean you will be happy with it. It doesn't mean that you won't waste it and like just blow it all, right? And so that money came to you a little easier, right? Because you are already like living in an environment where you were handed down and inherited certain mindsets about money that the person who wasn't born in money and doesn't have an inheritance and is not privileged may not have. And then, so we will have to start back a little further, because then we have to get all the prerequisites that person who was born into being a billionaire already has. So that makes it a little bit harder because it takes it a little bit longer. But are you resilient enough to be like, wow, I'm so thankful that I get the opportunity to learn this, that I have access to this. We're living in a day and an age where we have access to a lot of stuff that a lot of our ancestors did not have access to at all. It was taken from us. And we are even in a day and age where the things that are still the powers that be that are still trying to take away certain access from us, we are able to like find loopholes in the matrix to get to that. You know what I mean? Because make no mistake, there are still things being hidden. There are still things that are not being taught to us. That's why I have a film called The Truth We Hide From. And that's why I'm exposing a lot of stuff. And that's why I got to be careful, honey. That's why I'm taking my sweet molasses time with it. That and the fact that there's certain things that need to come into play and prerequisites that I need before I can even finish this film that I have been asked to do, not only by my elders, but my ancestors. Okay? Because I need to get an RV and do boots on the ground work. And I even need to have the prerequisites of, even if I have people right now who will give me an RV. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I can't, even if you gave me the RV right now, I'm still not ready to finish and do what needs to be done for this film. If you know, you know. When you're doing life's work, when you're doing something that requires serious honor and is sacred, ain't no rush in nothing. So I've been sat down, and I respect that I've been sat down. And anybody who's still rocking with me and knows what's up, because they've stayed close by me so that they can actually know what's going on, not the people who are far removed from me, don't talk to me anymore, so therefore they're not getting the updates. They don't even know what's really going on. What they say and what they think does not matter. And I want you to hold on to that with your billionaire mindset, and remember that moving forward as you do this ancestral veneration, this bloodline veneration, this bloodline healing, which is tied heavily into becoming a billionaire. It's tied heavily into being a billionaire. Because time doesn't exist. You're a billionaire right now. If you're a billionaire, you're a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? If you are to obtain this knowledge and information and reap these benefits, you're going to reap them right now. You're going to enjoy freedom, that financial freedom. You're going to enjoy it now because you're going to understand flow state. You're going to understand alchemy. And you're going to understand how everything I need is right here, right now. But you're going to also respect universal law. So if you want to learn more about that, I suggest that you click on the link in my bio and you join my Women's Billionaire movement. We have accountability group coaching tribe that we're starting there. You have to qualify to be a part of it. It's a private, sacred space for us to be in so that we can really, really get this done. And make sure that we don't leave our body before we finish this task, right? So one thing about it, and two things for sure, people get confused about like the missions that we have while we're here, and they get confused about death and dying. And that's something that I will be talking about more in my TikTok series. Make sure you follow me on TikTok so you can get more insight on those. But I want to just say this real quick as it's coming into me, is that you need to realize, okay, that, how do I put this? I want to put this carefully. You're going to need to realize that you're going to have to take your time with certain things, and that you have things to do while you're here. You don't have just the one thing to do. You have multiple things to do while you're here. And that even though when our time comes, we know it's coming, we've played the long game, everybody's soul contract knows, like, when it's your time to go, you know it's your time to go. That doesn't mean that everything will be finished. You know what I mean? You know that ahead of time coming into here. You know that you're going to come into this life and you're going to only get this much of your to-do list done. And that after you get this much of your to-do list done, you're ready to go. And this is a really delicate concept for a lot of people to deal with when it comes to life and death. So I want to walk you through this as gently as possible, as to not rock you too much in your core. But I want to awaken you, and I want to trigger that part of you that needs to hear this and have this medicine administered so that you can have that awakening that you need to have. Yes, some of us come into this portal of this dimension, and immediately we go. We go. There's a reason behind that. That goes beyond your human understanding, the level of understanding that you get once you arrive. Stop trying to figure everything out and respect the divine. Respect the universal law. Have faith and know that the Most High knows exactly what they're doing. Everything is in perfect chaos. And it may be hard to grasp if you have a hard time respecting the divine. A good sign to know of whether or not you respect the divine and you respect the Most High is, are you okay with the way that things play out? Or do you blame the universe? Do you blame God? Are you angry with God? Are you angry with the universe? Or do you actually respect the order and know that there is something bigger here that I don't get and I don't understand? And let me sit my baby ass down and get this lesson that I need to get. Because I know that the lesson is going to be greater than my little itty bitty understanding. Right? Or is your ego so inflated that you are so fragile that you fall apart at the seams when you hear divine righteous truth. You know, I have a lot of truths to give out, but are you ready to hear them? There's a lot of prerequisites that you have to have at the collegiate level, at the 400 class level, before you can do some of this sacred, divine, soul shattering, earth shattering work. This is big, big, big work. You know that one song from that one chick, I can't remember her name, but she's like, you need a big God. She's like, you need a big God. It's a good one. I'll put it in the comments or whatever after this, but it's a good one. It's a good one to meditate on. It's a good one to get yourself in a big space to realize your smallness in all of this. That there are just things that you may never understand in this lifetime because maybe it's not for you to understand. And there are some wounds that will never be resolved in this lifetime because maybe that's not the primary wound that needed to be healed. That we have many, many wounds, especially when we have many, many lifetimes, right? So let this run be for what this run is for. Focus on yourself as best as you can by peaceful and respectful observation of everything around you, reflection, right? And let that be so that you can heal yourself. Let that not be so that you can cause harm to others, correct? By wrong judgment, wrong association, feeding into illnesses and sicknesses. I talked about that today on TikTok, about how an ugly part of healing that people don't want to deal with, and the bloodline, cleaning up bloodline trauma, generational curses, whatever you want to call it. A big part of that is accepting that some people are in this dimension right now who have brain damage. And I also see severe mental illnesses as brain damage. You got a damaged brain if you are having hallucinations and delusions to the point that you can't control them. But they're controlling you, and they're ruining your livelihood and your ability to function safely here in this dimension. That's damage, baby. Emotional damage, like, baby, brain damage, like, that's damage for real. It's not a joke. And I think that we need to take some of these things more seriously. And that's why we get so confused about, like, because we try to, and in order to do this, we got to treat situations individual. Case by case. Stop trying to make, your ego is what makes you want to say, all black people this, and all white people are this, and all men do this, and all women do this, and everyone in my family does this, and all of these, bank robbers do this. Whatever it is, like, it's your ego that's making you do that, because you know what the hard part would be to do, like the righteous thing to do would be, is to look at everyone like an individual autonomous being who has their own story and their own life and their own rhyme and their own reason and their own equation. You have your own equation. It's in your birth chart. Do you want me to break it down for you? Go ahead and hit me up in the DMs and book an appointment with me. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for a sign? Waiting for a sign or something of some sort? You're watching me. You're always watching me. That's for a reason, right? I hope it's not because you think that you're going to cause harm to me, because you better check the spiritual ranking before you try to touch a hair on my head. Right? I don't live in fear. But a lot of y'all are living in fear, and it's holding you back. Fear of the unknown. Fear of the mysterious. Fear of that which you won't even take the time to understand. That means you're getting in your own way. Nobody's keeping you from understanding things, okay? Nobody's keeping you from learning how to read, all right? The resources are here now. The people are here now. We've shown up. We're extending a hand. Will you join us in healing and learning and growing, or will you continue to get in your own way? Are you even there yet? Maybe you're not there yet. You know what I mean? And that's okay too. But we have to stop with the hypocrisy, right? Because there's a lot of hypocrisy that goes on too. You want to be seen as an individual autonomous being with all of your life's beauty and pain, right? But yet you won't see others as such, right? And then you may turn on your own self, the snake eating its tail, and you might, in one conversation, don't judge me, see me for me, you don't understand the bigger picture, people are always judging me. But then on the same coin, go ahead in another situation and judge yourself harshly. Look down on yourself by not believing in yourself, by not loving on yourself the way that you need to be loving on yourself. Do you see how that works? Yeah, so it's like, that's projection, baby. It's a lot. And it is a lot, but I need you to take it one step at a time. Stop trying to see the feast before you and feel like you got to eat it all. It's actually an infinite feast. It's not going anywhere. I promise you. This is actually an endless buffet. It's an endless buffet. You get to come back to it as many times as you want. It's always going to be there. You are not going to miss out. You're not going to miss out. You're not going to miss out. I'm not going to miss out. I'm not going to miss out. Okay? All right? You got what you need right now. Please learn to be honest with yourself. This is going to help. Be honest about where you're at so that you can actually enjoy your bounty, your blessing, your inheritance. Most people, and I use that word again, very, I'm just saying, it's not everyone, so I have to say most people, okay, but I use it graciously. Most people do not have that, mindset where they understand that they have an inheritance that they're not tapping into. So a lot of people don't understand like how they're blocking themselves. And that's a whole discussion. That is a whole counseling session. That is a whole mentoring session, because you have to get in there and you have to change mindsets. But just realize that it is there for you if you would just start. A lot of y'all are not even starting because you feel so overwhelmed. Start with the little thing first. Start with the one thing first so that you can feel the flow and the snowball effect, so that you can feel what it's like to have Godspeed and quantum leap and all that stuff. You guys are not quantum leaping. You're not experiencing, some of y'all are not experiencing Godspeed because you won't allow yourself to. You get frustrated and you want to stop, or you want to do too much at once because of FOMO and other things that cause energy blocks and things of that nature, or get you wore out and burnt out, and then now you have to put everything down. And how do I know? I've been there, done that. I'm a naturally high-strung person. Some of our greatest teachers are the ones who have messed up the most, who have been through the most. Okay? So you got to realize that, and you got to respect that. The people who are genuinely out here teaching, whether they're in cosplay, they're being themselves, they're being genuine. We show up differently because we are different. We're not clones. We're not Agent Smiths. We're not part of the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? We're not coming to you polished and all of this and that on every single occasion like we're some type of fucking robot that got spit out of a program. We're organic beings. We're here. Some of you listening to me right now are not organic beings. Some of you listening to me right now are unconscious still. Okay? And what you're trying to do is you're trying to wake up, and that's why you came to my video. That's why you came to my stream. I'm not your enemy. They're not your enemy. This is all par for the course. And you're going to need to sit down and be humble enough to say, you know what? I am so grateful I'm in this experience, and I am so curious, and I want to know more about it. And don't beat yourself up and get frustrated when the concepts are so big. That means step back. Hold on. There's a prerequisite. You're missing information. So go back and get the information that you're missing. Right? If I'm talking too fast and I'm saying a lot of words that you don't know, use the pause button. Take notes. You know, don't let your frustration and your impatience and all the other things that you haven't worked on yet get in the way. Go work on those things at the college level, at the 400 level. You know, these little anger management classes that they put people in for like 4 to 6 weeks, they ain't doing nothing. They're not doing much of nothing. Especially depending on how unconscious the person is. It's not even scratching the surface. Now, if you have someone who's, you know, halfway conscious, they're halfway there, you can put them in an anger management course, and they'll be the ones in there with a notepad and taking notes, and like they're ready to learn, and then they're continuing to learn after the class is over. That's a different type of being. Okay? So, what type of being are you? What type of being do you want to be? What type of being are you meant to be? How are you getting in your own way? How are you blocking your own inheritance? You know, there's checkpoints that we have to go through in this lifetime, and those are called rites of passage. You know, and you will continue to go through those rites of passage till you leave the body. Even leaving the body is a rite of passage. Hello. So, with that being said, what rites of passage are you trying to skip over unrighteously? You are trying to cheat the universal law and universal code, and you can't cheat the divine. You can't cheat God. That's blasphemous. It's going to spit you back into a figure 8. You're going to have to keep doing it over and over again. So get those prerequisites in order. I spoke about a lot of prerequisites when it comes to like healing, growing, becoming conscious, all of that good stuff. Just channeling. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you was able to keep up. I am for eyes that can see and ears that can hear. Y'all, we need to free our mind, heal our body, and awaken our spirit. You guys be good to yourself and be good to each other. And you be careful out here in these universal highways and byways and streets. Okay? You be careful out here in these quantum fields, all right? See you on the next one. Bye.